Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to have a conversation on how to start a poultry farming project. And we are at a farm called
Cheeky Fresh Farms.
Okay, at Chisozi. So welcome. If you're looking for a video to help you on how to start your poultry project, this is the right video. So welcome, Joel. Welcome to this conversation.
Thank you.
Yes. Please tell us your names. Tell us more about your farm.
My name is Joel Ssekajja, founder of Cheeky Farms. It's a project that I run with my wife and a friend who partners with us. And I started Cheeky Fresh Farms after COVID. Right after COVID had stopped. But the inspiration came during the COVID time. During the COVID time, I was threatened about the job. People were losing their jobs. So somehow I started to look for land to buy. I asked a neighbor of ours who had poultry houses he wasn't using, but he said no. So my inspiration started during COVID. I was watching a lot of YouTube and I landed on Seeds of God. And I picked inspiration because I was really, I had interest in poultry farming. Yeah, so behold, later after COVID, I think it was 2021 is when I really started to take care of chickens. But it's not my main job. I have a full-time job. However, this is a side job that is really paying off.
Well, so you don't stay here, Joel?
I don't stay here. I come here often.
Often. For some of you, you're scared to start a project because you're worried maybe it's a bit far. Joel here has to come once in a while to check on his project, so it's doable. Don't be scared to start. So Joel, would you tell us how you started your poultry project? How did you, the structure, how was the whole experience,
Wow, how I started with a lot of YouTube knowledge.
Very practical.
Yeah, a lot of YouTube knowledge, and don't start like that. When you see a YouTube video, try to check out on the person who posted the video so that you get more information. I realize there are so many things people don't tell us in the YouTube videos. And that means I made a lot of mistakes that I shouldn't have made. Probably I should have visited other farms after watching a lot of YouTube. But this is how I started. After purchasing my piece of property, I went ahead and took a bank loan to construct this structure. I took a huge sum of money, which wasn't enough. Yeah, so the structure I did is quite expensive. I totally don't recommend that you build this type of a structure. You can get two structures out of mine in the same amount because I spent over 25 to 28 million on my structure, yes. It can hold a capacity of 2,000 chickens upstairs and downstairs, but right now I just have 1,000. And how I started with broilers. After constructing the chicken house, I stocked broilers because layers are quite expensive to start with, unless you have your money. But
not after building the structure.
Yes, after building the structure, it's easy to buy the chicks. Feeding is the issue because they really eat. Yeah, so I started with 200 broilers. You'll see later at the front of the building, I have 3 rooms. And so I used 1 room for raising the chicks because this other part wasn't. Brooder and then staying. Because this other part wasn't completed yet. So in one of the rooms is where I raised 200. They grew up well. Of course, I struggled a lot, most especially with food mixing. And for any farmer, I think if you learn how to mix feeds, farming, poultry farming can become very, very profitable. If you learn which percentage of everything that you need to put into your feeds, then you'll see profit. I can't guarantee you that I got any profit with broilers. I first did 200, then I did 300. At some point I did 700 broilers. And then I did 500. But I was literally just putting in. There's no time I can tell you that I made profits. Most of the time people would come at my farm, they look at my birds, underweight. Sometimes they were 1 kg, sometimes more than a kg, and still they take advantage of you. The challenge I found, yes, the challenge I found with broilers is you would raise it and 6 weeks, it has either hit its normal weight or it's underweight. But none like all the same, whether it's at the right size or not, middlemen just want to get the best. So they come and they don't give you worth. What is worth your bird.
Yeah.
And it was a bit challenging. And
So market was
an issue. And at some point I started cutting my birds and putting them in a freezer. But still people were not, it's hard to pick up. It's hard to pick up. And so it was challenging. And in the event that they stay in your house, the chicken house, for more than a week, that is already a loss. Yeah. Even if they stayed for 3 more days, it's a huge loss. Because they would, at that point, they really, really eat a lot and they're not adding much weight. Yeah, so through prayer, by the way, through prayer and much consideration, I moved into layers. It's recommended to start with 500 layers. Now, this is my first batch of layers. They are 500 layers. They are slightly less than 500. It was my first time to do layers. I didn't lose much. In the brooding, I actually lost only 3. But layers at week 8, maybe later I'll do more videos and I'll tell you more how to raise them. But between week 8 and week 12, they go through a certain season where they need keen attention, most especially at night. So they would squeeze themselves and die. So at some point I lost about 27. And so,
for a farmer, every bird is money.
Every bird is money, yeah. Because when I look at each bird here, I see a tray of eggs. I see a tray of eggs at the end of the month. Yeah, because I expect it to lay at least 25 eggs per month. Yeah, so that's some money for each bird. And so I moved into layers eventually. Started with 500, lost about 30 of them. 27, I lost about 27 of them. So this is what I have right now for the first batch. I have 2 batches. This is the first batch and I have another batch on the other side. And with God's provision, I want to put more chickens upstairs. So I currently have 500. So as you can see, I was really improvising on most of the things. You can see the laying boxes. They were DIY. They were made by me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did the architecture work, everything.
Actually, Joel, that's a good point, because most of my viewers, they are looking for how to start. So when it's a good point that, there are things that you can do even on the farm. If you don't have the money, you can improvise. It doesn't have to be like a perfect, thing. The thing is, can it work at that point? If it can, later on when you get the money, you can do like something better. Okay, so Joel, how have you gained from the layers? Like what? Because you said you left the broilers.
Yes.
Now you're doing layers. How have you gained from them?
Now layers need a little bit of capital. They need more capital. They are more capital intensive compared to broilers. Because broilers, you sell them at the end of the month or at the end of the 6 weeks, and you get back your money. Though that's if they came. Yes, if you have the market
on time
and everything was done very, very right. What have I gained from layers? I've found layers more doable for me. Of course, I needed much capital to start. Good thing I had finished the big capital intensive things, the structures. But I encourage you, anyone else there, is not the best to start with. It's expensive for nothing. Go and get a normal wood tree barks.
Makoko.
Yeah, makoko here in our country, in Uganda. Tree barks, get normal tree poles, build your thing, have a little bit of 3 or 4 course brick level around, and then put up the tree barks, something that is cheap and okay for them. I made a lot of mistakes here on my structure. It's high, it's expensive for no reason, and these birds need a lot of moving air. Yeah, so
even the bricks had to be like lower.
a lower cost, yes. Although the area I'm in is really, really windy, so
Still, it
worked for me, yeah. But you just need tree barks like those, very cheap. Each one goes for 1.5, and at a lower cost you can build your structure. You don't need to start with 500 like me. If you stay in a smaller place, you can do you can start with 100 or 200 and count the cost really. If you count the cost, I think layers are a good deal. You need to know how much you need, because you can't gamble with feeds.
How much is each bird?
Each bird is about 6,000
When they are little.
when they are little, and you have to feed them up to week 8, up to week 19. So for them to really start giving you a commercial advantage to lay, and they are able to feed themselves, it's really week 20, week 21. So you count that you need to feed them at that point. I hope in our next video I will show you how to mix the feeds and know the right amounts. When I started with this batch, I spent so much on feeds. I was using expensive concentrates, mixture of maize. I mean, I really staggered around to get this information on how to mix feeds. And many farmers, even with bigger farms, are still making very expensive feeds that you don't need to do that. So I hope I can show you how to mix feeds in the future videos. But for starters, you need a safe place where you can brood your chicks up to about. Layers need more time in the brooder, although as they grow, you can see that they get feathers. So in the first 4 weeks, they really need the stove all the time. So I didn't have gas brooders. Those ones came in later. So I used charcoal stoves, and I've actually used charcoal stoves more. And
that's affordable.
That's affordable. Anyone can get a charcoal stove, get charcoal. During day, if the weather is okay, just put on ash and they will survive. They will live. But although in the first 2 weeks, don't compromise. Charcoal, heat all the time. Make sure the place is well enclosed, but also make sure that it's ventilated. They can have fresh air at the end of the day.
So I think, Joel, at the end, in the comment section, I'll put your number, so that if they are farmers who are starting, they can actually call you.
That's
so
true.
You can give them like details. Do you have eggs right now?
Oh yes.
Come to the farm. Are we eating some eggs?
Oh yes. You eat some eggs at a fee. So of course this is week 33, and by week 33 you've harvested a good number of eggs. The birds are laying at 85-89%, which is a very good percentage of laying. With this over 473 birds, I harvest 13 trays a day.
That's a good thing.
And in seasons when the price is high, then you get a good margin. But in those 10 weeks of laying, I am close to recovering all the money I've put into this particular batch. Yeah, so which is profitable. Profitable because I've learned the food mix. Because I've learned the feed mix, which makes it profitable. Without that, that's the cry of every farmer. Everyone keeps wondering, but how are you able to profit in farming? Until you learn that the others are normal routines that you should maintain. The hygiene, making sure they have water all the time, access to feed, they're not congested, all those other things. But of course, there's a lot of detail when it comes to birds, most especially the layer birds. They are quite sensitive, they are easily stressed, they don't like noise, anything, heat. So today, we'll just focus on a startup. If anyone just wants to start up a laying poultry farm, get a conducive place, not very loud place, because they really hate noise, but they can get used to certain noises, but get a conducive place.
So that means you can't do it like in a place where
there is a bar. Because there will be noise all the time and they will be stressed. Some birds get used to a certain sound. Yes.
But still, will it first stress?
Still, it will first stress.
And stress means?
Stress means low productivity. They won't lay well. Yes.
They cut on
their production. And yet you need to get the profit. And so those are the challenges. That you might face. But in your backyard, if it's okay, children can play and it's noisy, no booming sound, that's okay. Thunderstorms once in a while, that's okay. It's experienced. The rest should be okay. Car noises are okay, as long as they get used to it. So get a little space where you can start, where you can, these 500 are staying in a space of about 25 by 30. 25 by 30 feet. Yeah, and that's where I have this batch of close to 500.
This one?
Yes, just this simple space. So in your backyard, I'm sure you can do something like this, or 250. Then go low cost. Go low cost. You can always improve your structure. Get simple stuff. When you get richer, you can put cages or what. That's my long-term dream. We hope in the future we'll go cages, but for now we use no more wooden feeders. We just have an automatic. Yeah, but we have automatic drinkers, not so expensive, but because we cannot compromise on not having water, the egg has water really and a shell, so we should have water. And yeah. So
any other challenge apart from the noise? Because I didn't know noise was an issue.
Noise is an issue. Noise is an issue. Hygiene can be an issue, but that's in your control.
Yeah.
People over visiting the farm, certain dressing can be an issue. If someone came here in white, they would flee.
Oh, certain colors.
Yes, certain colors. So those are other nitty-gritties that we can get into.
Red?
No, they actually like red. So you come in with red, they will all come towards you. And they will peck you.
Red and what?
Red, blue, white really is the big issue. Okay. White is the big issue. But the rest should be okay. So once you have your structure set up, go get a good brand of chicks.
Where
reputable chicks. So there is Ken chick, there is Beanzika, there's different chicks. Find out from other local sellers or from what are they called?
Dealers? Are they dealers?
Yes, they are dealers, or the vet shops. Vet shops that specifically deal in poultry. They know the right brands. Yeah, so check, compare your notes, and get a good brand, a healthy, strong brand, and you will be sure it will guarantee you. So get a good brand of chicks and go through the stages, brooding, get out of brooding, widen the space, give them all they need, and they'll be okay. They need attention 24/7. Now this brand, I need to check.
Okay.
I need to double check the name of the brand. I just know that the supplier.
I know there's Sasso, there's what, all those.
These are layers.
Oh,
commercial
Sasso
layers.
Yeah.
So Sasso is
people
both meat and laying. So depending on what you want to use it for. But these are specifically
So
commercial
at least they
layers.
can go to the vet shops.
Yes.
And those guys know where
They,
to.
they will recommend. They will recommend what is in your area and is best for you, because they've probably tested with different users. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And after you have your structure, get your chicks, get your stove, get your light. They need light in the
Do
first.
you stay with them?
No, you don't have to stay in the brooder. No one can sleep
Like
with
having a new
chickens.
baby.
Yes. Yeah, of course they need a lot of attention, but
So you wake up in the night and come and
yeah,
chill?
wake up in the night. The nights I've spent in the farm in the brooding seasons. I spend them on the farm in one of the rooms. After that, but I've trained my workers so they know how to handle the brooding. And so once they're out of brooding for layers, I recommend 8 weeks for you to really open up space, because you don't want them to be affected by cold.
So opening up space means take them to a bigger space.
Take them to a bigger space. Of course, you keep adjusting the space in the
Hey.
brooding. Yeah, but then
So after brooding, I just can't bring them here.
no,
Hey.
you just keep adjusting the space little by little until it's fully blown up. Now I can't adjust, they are okay.
Oh, interesting.
So I normally put out mine by 9 weeks. I'm done adjusting space. They have big enough
That's
space.
a new thing in my ear.
Yeah, they have big enough space to live up to the lay. Because I also want them to be exposed to the laying boxes early enough. They want to lay in a safe, quiet, dark place. So
That's why the nesting boxes are dark.
they are dark. So they get exposed. They know it as a safe place. If you scare them, that's where they will go. So because layers lay in a safe space, that's where they go. So I want them to get used to that early enough.
So Joel, how have you handled the issue of workers? Because you don't stay on your farm, and that's a major concern for most people who don't stay on the farm.
That's very true. I don't stay on my farm. And over time, what I've learned is hire people that I know. People that I know, as long as they have interest.
You know they are relatives.
Yes,
You
I
know
know
their
they are
family.
relatives, or they are even my friends. Yeah. That's the trick.
At least you can track them.
Yes. If they don't know anything, I'm willing to train, but as long as the heart is in it. Otherwise, workers can be very, very frustrating. You can't put someone here that you don't trust, because you can come back and you don't have chickens, or they will tell you wrong statistics of eggs or something. So you really, really must hire someone you know. That's what I recommend. Give them a fairly good pay, or a good pay if you're making profits, or grow together.
Yeah.
So I recommend that you get someone you know and you can trust them.
Wow. Well, thank you, Joel. Thank you for allowing me to come to your farm and for us to have this conversation. And farmers, if anyone is interested in this project, starting a poultry project, I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have learned one or two things. That's very, very important. I will share Joel's number in the comment section where you can reach out to him. And I think we'll do other videos on feeding, on, I don't know,
On brooding,
all
on
those
production.
things. Yes, yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll link my other videos that I did on farming, on rabbits and piggery, somewhere up here, so that you can also watch them. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.